30 rounds of that clip, I'll rip. Too thick with the stick that I won't miss. Little slick, real sick, don't talk shit. Whip, whip like a brick, scale on fish.
Alright YouTube, what is good up in your hood? It is the one and only, the man himself, Sleepy. Today we are going to do a little bit of a discussion video just because this has been requested. A lot of people have been asking me, hey, what kind of drugs do you do? Do you do a lot of drugs? Do you like smoking weed? Do you like drinking? Do you like getting tipsy? Do you like whatever? Do you like to party? Do you like to do this? Do you like to do that? Whatever. So I thought that I would just go into a little bit of detail about my story with drugs and how it has affected me and where I am at today with drugs. To answer the broad question, do I do drugs? No, I do not do drugs. And that is for one simple reason. Because I'm sober. That's why. I've been sober for almost 2 years. On February 8th, it will be 2 years that I have been sober. And it is not just being sober from alcohol and weed or like, oh, I do drugs now and then. I got into some serious drugs, and I quit drugs 2 years ago, and I have not done drugs since then. My main drug of choice when I did do drugs, it was heroin, dude. I was a straight junkie heroin addict. I went to some pretty dark places and went through a lot of crazy shit. But like I said, I have put that behind me and I have been sober for 2 years, no heroin. So if you guys want to be interested in like my story and what happened with drugs in my life, then stay tuned. I'm going to try to do this as quick as I can without making it fucking 30 minutes long. The first time I started experimenting with drugs or anything mind altering was like in the 9th grade, of course, or even 8th grade. I was like smoking weed with the homies. I was a computer nerd, so we would just smoke weed and play World of Warcraft all day. And then of course you get into 9th grade, you start drinking at house parties and shit, but I never really was a huge fan of alcohol just because it made me feel really weird, and I always got way too fucking drunk and I just could not hang like that. So alcohol was really not my favorite. It wasn't until I tried Norco or opiates, Vicodin, whatever, that I really started getting into drugs. The first opiate I ever took was a Vicodin. And after I took it, it was just like this eye-opening experience for me, dude. It was just like, it just like made me feel the most special kind of way ever. Like nothing in my life has ever given me a feeling that I got from taking that first pill, dude. So I started taking Norcos and Vicodin in high school, like 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. And then I moved on to Oxycontin. If you guys are not familiar with Oxycontin, it's just an opiate. It like doesn't have the Tylenol part of it. It's just straight like Oxycontin opiate. It fucks you up bad. They're like muscle relaxers. They're pain relievers. And so I got into Oxycontin really bad. My friend had a prescription, so I was taking those in high school. But it wasn't really until like right after I finished high school that like drugs really started taking a hold on my life, dude, straight up. Like I started taking more and more Oxycontin to where it was like $50, $60, $70, $100, $150 a day to get high, dude. I had to resort to crime to feed my drug habit, straight up. I was robbing a lot of people. I was stealing from stores, establishments. I was doing returns with gift cards. I was just doing everything you could to get money, dude. Fucking jacking people and just whatever you could do to get money so I could get high, dude. You know, I did Oxycontin for a long time, like 3 years or 4 years, until it got to the point that I just could not afford it anymore. I was taking like 300 milligrams of Oxy a day. It's like a $200 a day habit, dude. I just couldn't afford it. Like I had exhausted all my options with stealing from people and robbing people. I just couldn't anymore, dude. So obviously the cheaper alternative to Oxycontin and opiates is heroin. So of course I started smoking heroin, and I got into heroin pretty bad, dude. And you know, this is like probably 2013 by now. I started doing heroin, and that's really when like my life changed for reals, dude. Like with Oxycontin, it was bad. Like I got into some trouble. I went to rehab once or twice, but really when I started doing heroin, that's like when everything really fell apart, dude. I was stealing a lot of shit from my mom and my family. I was tearing my family apart, dude. My mom, I was fucking her up. Like she just could not take it. My sisters, like they loved me, but they were so pissed at me because I was just fucking off my life. And I had a little son at the time too, probably probably 2 years old at the time I started doing heroin. Every day I would wake up like, I need to stop doing this. I need to stop doing this. But I just couldn't stop, dude. And I'd gone to rehab a couple more times. You know, just tearing my family apart, stealing from people. I think by the time I was fucking 22 years old, I'd been to jail 10 times already, whether for long periods of time or short periods of time. And I was just like in and out of jail, always on probation, always violating probation, not doing my community service, not doing my work release, not doing this, just getting out of jail and straight running, getting high, running amok until I got caught and went to jail the next time. So for a couple years there, it was just really, really bad, dude. And the whole time I'm like trying to keep a relationship with my son and like try to keep anybody from knowing that I'm doing drugs. But again, I had no friends because I burnt so many bridges with so many friends. I had stolen from friends, stolen from their family, jacked them, fucking whatever, dude, borrowed money and never returned it. So it's like, I just exhausted all my options, dude. And, so what it just ended up being myself. So I think one time I went to rehab and then I got out. I went back and lived at my mom's house, and I told her that I was sober and I wasn't doing drugs. This was in 2015, 2 years ago, and 2014 into 2015. And one day I was doing heroin at this park. I was smoking, and then I got out and bam, the cops rolled up on me all sick, dude. Probably like 4 cops rolled up on me. Somebody called and said that I was doing drugs in the parking lot. And I had a bunch of heroin on me, a bunch of drugs on me, and I had a warrant for not doing my community service. So they locked me up for that. And honestly, I thought that I was just gonna get out like I did every other time, you know, just like a month or 20 days, 15 days, and then I would be out. But you know, they kept me, dude, straight up. The lady was like, the judge was like, dude, you're fucked off. You've been on probation for like 6 years. You never do what you're supposed to do. You're fucked off on drugs. Like, you need to stay in jail for a while, dude. So at first I was like, fuck, I was tripping, dude. I didn't want to be in jail for 8 months or whatever. But you know, looking back on it, that was for sure the best thing that ever happened to me. The day I got arrested was the last day that I did heroin. I've not done heroin since then, and that was 2 years ago, dude. So when I was in jail, you know, like, of course, the first month or something, you're like a little skeptical, like, what's going on? But you know, after like a month, you just get used to it, dude. You realize that that's where you're gonna sleep, that's where you're gonna wake up, that's where you're gonna shower, that's where you're gonna eat, that's where you're gonna do everything, dude. So I just tried to start planning like what I was gonna do from there, like how I was gonna make up for the 5 years of my life that I had fucked off before, dude, you know. And that's exactly what I did. I did like a lot of writing, a lot of reading, and I just like wanted to get my head on straight and like be a father and like be a dad and be a husband and like just be an all around good person, you know, because I knew I was a good person, but it's like the drugs just clouded my judgment and made me into somebody that I wasn't, dude, you know. So I ended up doing like 6 months in jail. At first the lady wanted to send me to the pen. They wanted to send me to prison for like 3 years. I was like, what the fuck, you're tripping. So I declined the deal, and then I went back and they gave me a year in county prison, and then I did 6 months. So I did a county prison term for 6 months, and that's really like where I got my head straight, dude. When I got out, I immediately got a job. I moved into a sober living. I started working 2 jobs, 80 hours a week. I started paying my own way, paying my own rent, paying my cell phone, my car insurance. I bought a little fucking car. I was taking care of my son financially, paying for his preschool, paying for his clothes, all this kind of shit. And then slowly but surely, everything just came together, dude. You know, I was working a lot, and then I ended up getting a better job with my father-in-law, where I still work today. I've had that job for like 2 years. It's crazy. I could never keep a job for like more than a week. Now I've had a job for 2 years, and like we ended up buying a house, me and my girlfriend and my girlfriend's mom, and we fucking paying on a mortgage and just being an adult now, dude. It's crazy. It happened. It seemed like it happened fast. I guess it's been 2 years, you know. But the reason why I wanted to share this with you guys, because I know there's a lot of young kids watching. I know there's people that have hit me up personally asking me about drugs, telling me what drugs they do and blah, blah, blah. And you know, there's 2 kinds of people, dude. Some people can do drugs in moderation and have a successful life, go to work, go to school, get good grades, and be a normal person. But there's some people like me that just can't do it, dude. I just cannot be involved involved with drugs and still continue on a normal life. That's why I don't smoke weed, I don't drink, I don't do anything. Even though heroin was my problem, I don't even get myself involved with weed or alcohol to potentially let it take me down that road again. So when I say I'm sober, I mean like completely sober. I don't smoke, I don't drink. And it's hard because a lot of people assume that with like the things that I'm into, the music I'm into, the clothes I'm into. It's like, how could you not be into that when that's what these people rap about and make clothes about? And it's like a lot of people in this community or in this like subculture are involved in drugs. They do drugs and make music. They do drugs in their music videos. Their clothing are about drugs. But it's like, you don't have to be engaging in those things to be into it, dude. I'm a stupid Supreme head, FTP head, fucking golf head, fucking all kinds of music, underground music, Suicide Boys, Pooh-Yah, fucking all kinds of shit. I'm into that whole scene, but I don't do drugs, straight up, because I don't have to partake in any of that to watch other people doing it. If they can do it and live successfully, then hats off to you. I'm gonna watch you do it. You know, I'm not gonna try to go back and relive the hell of 5 years that I went through to try to be a part of that, or try to feel like, oh, people are gonna think I'm gay, or people are gonna think I'm stupid or whack because I don't do drugs. Like, if you're watching this video and now you don't fuck with me because I don't do drugs, then you're a fucking idiot, straight up. It's like, you know, I realized I made a conscious decision that I cannot engage in those kind of activities if I want to be productive and I want to do the things I want to do. Because I've always been into clothing, I've always been into music, but I could never like fully indulge in it while I was fucked off on drugs, because that's all I cared about was drugs. How to get drugs, how to get money, how I'm gonna stay well. And especially with the heroin and the opiates, because if you guys don't know, like when you're addicted to opiates, the sickness is absolutely terrible. If you don't have it for a couple hours or a day, like you're fucked. You're more sick than you've ever been in your life. It's unbearable, and you just can't even explain it. So that's why I got so caught up in it, because I could just never quit, because the fear of feeling sick from opiate withdrawal is just absolutely insane, dude. So it's like, really, that time away in jail really helped me to get my head clear. I came out with 5-6 months sober already, so like the obsession for drugs was already kind of behind me. I worked on myself a little bit. I figured out like, how can I proceed in life? How can I make something of myself? Because I love making content like this. I love clothing. I love music. And it's like, you know, now my shit's straight, dude. You know, like I have a house that I pay on. I have a steady job that I've had for 2 years. It's like my normal life is continuing. So now I can explore, like, how can I make videos? How can I make other people feel good? How can I fucking bring content that other people want to watch? How can I help other people while promoting my shit? And so that's what I'm into right now. And for sure, I couldn't do any of it if I was still fucked off on drugs, dude. So again, I just wanted to share this story with you guys, because I know there's people watching this that are dealing with drugs or doing drugs or experimenting with drugs. And you know, you just have to have self-control, and you have to have self-awareness. If you are one of those people that can do it responsibly, then by all means go do it. I'm not saying don't do drugs, but definitely if you are one of those people that like gets too drunk and fucking socks somebody or socks the wall, or like you have to steal shit to get drugs, maybe that's like something, a red flag in your mind that you should try to catch at an earlier stage, so you don't have to waste 5 years of your life like I did, dude. Straight up, I've been to jail 11 or 12 times, dude. Years of my life has been spent in jail, straight up. I've spent 5 years of my life, 6 years of my life on probation. April of this year, April 2017, I get off probation. That will be the first time I've been off probation since I was 17 years old, dude. That's fucking 8 years. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. And you know, maybe you guys are watching this and you don't really have a problem with drugs or whatever. That's cool. I just wanted to give you my story with drugs, or maybe you know somebody that's struggling with drugs. And like I said before, you guys can always hit me up on Instagram and talk to me directly if you guys are dealing with drugs or think you have a drug problem. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but obviously I would be down to give you my insight, because I've seen a lot of crazy shit, dude. I've been to a lot of dark places. There's been many days where I did not want to wake up the next day, or I didn't know if I was going to wake up the next day. I've been in some deep shit, some very low places, but the most important thing is that I've came out of that, dude. Like, I left that shit behind me, and I've started something new, or did start something new. And now here you go, it's 2 years later. I've been sober, no alcohol, no weed, no heroin, no opiates, no crystal, no nothing for 2 years. And it's like now I feel like more on top of my shit than I ever been, dude, straight up. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's just a little background. I tried not to make it 20 minutes long, so I hope you guys got the gist of it, you know, and got the gist that I do not do drugs to this day, for anybody asking that question. But I've fucking done every drug in the book that you could think of, up and down, north and west. I've fucking done drugs that you probably never heard of in your life before. And the main thing that I've learned from it is it's just like, for me personally, it's not worth it because I have no control. I have no self-control over drugs, dude. If I had self-control, it'd probably be different. I'd probably be smoking a blunt on camera right now, but I don't. And I've matured enough to realize that. And I've realized, is that more important, or is like making a life for myself and my family more important? And it's like starting a brand and a movement more important and pursuing that. Obviously, I've chosen the latter as more important, and that's just what I wanted to share to you guys today. If you guys are going through anything with drugs, or you know somebody, or whatever, you guys can always hit me up personally. I will try to get back to you guys. Let me know in the comments below what kind of drugs you guys do, if you guys love drugs, hate drugs, or anything like that. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this was somewhat informational and not too boring, and I hope you guys don't think I'm a fucking scumbag because I've done heroin before. It's really not that crazy. I've done a lot of fucked up shit, but I have came back from that, and I think I've mended a lot of relationships, and I've mended a lot of areas of my life that I fucked up when I was on drugs. And you know, I've mended those today, and I've made peace with a lot of people and a lot of things in my life, and I'm definitely moving forward and moving in the pretty much the best direction that I've ever went in my life. And look at all the shit I've been through, dude. So there's the grass is always greener on the other side. You just gotta persevere and get through it, and it takes work, dude. It's hard work, you know. Getting off drugs is not easy for anybody that's done it. You know, it's not fucking easy, dude. So you just gotta persevere and you know, think about the long run and think about the picture ahead and what you actually want in your life, and just go from there. So thank you guys for watching. My name is Sleepy, and I am a heroin addict, bitch.
Okay, alright guys, here's the deal. So now that you know about Kelly's past with heroin abuse and all that good stuff, we want to do a Q&A video for you guys.
Okay, so if you guys want to ask me any kind of questions, you could do so in the comments below, or you could DM me questions on Instagram, or you could hit me up on Twitter. All of that stuff is in the beginning of the video and in the description and at the end of the video. So hit me up on Instagram, leave comments right here. We will just abort mission if we don't get like 20 questions or 15 questions. But
anything you guys want to know, seriously, like anything you guys are interested in knowing about us, send us the questions.
So if you guys want to ask any questions, like you could ask me personal questions, like if you guys want to know just questions about me, or you guys could send questions just to Alexandra, or you guys could ask questions about both of us together, or just anything in general, like all the way from like where I was fucking born all the way to like what's your favorite piece of clothing or whatever, any kind of questions. But I know there is some of you guys that will be down to do the Q&A, so I thought I would do one right now, and then obviously later on as the channel grows we can do more or other ones. But yeah, if you guys want to ask any questions about I'm trying to get the fucking autofocus. If you guys want to ask any questions in general, any fucking questions at all, leave them in the description, or DM me, or send them to me on Twitter, and we will do a Q&A video answering any questions that you guys have.
You guys can send me questions too. My Instagram's also down below.
Yeah, but you don't have to either. Peace.
Around the clip, I'll rip.